Mr. and Mrs. North, starring Barbara Britton and Richard Denning.
Hello?
Hello, Jerry North?
Speaking. Who is this?
Say, do you know a guy, a mouthpiece by the name of Robert Tyler?
Well, I should. I'm to be best man at his wedding. Who is this?
Well, you might say that I'm kind of a friend of his myself. Look, I've got some information for him.
What kind of information?
Well, you could say it has something to do with his health.
Look, let's not play games. What do you want and who are you?
Look, North, this kind of a game you play for keeps.
You want to know who I am? You come on down to the 12th Street Hotel, room 206.
And bring that pal of yours, Tyler, with you. And listen,
If you don't want that pal of yours to get hurt,
don't bring no one else.
I understand.
and bring some dough with you. $100. I'll wait here. Okay?
Hello, Bob. It's Jerry.
What's up, Jerry? You in trouble?
No, but I'm afraid you are. I'll pick you up in front of your building in 15 minutes.
All right, there's your money. What's your information?
Somebody made a contract. It's got your name on it.
A contract? What's in it?
A bullet. See, the way the contract reads, your friend here won't live to say I do.
You mean someone's hired a professional to kill me?
All right, who is it? If this is on the level, you must know.
Look, you paid for all the info you're gonna get.
Suppose I raise the ante.
Me wind up on the slab next to you? Look, you're a big shot mouthpiece. You figure it out. Beat it.
You both know you should have gotten in touch with the police before you went there.
But that's my fault, Lieutenant. Jerry wanted to call you, but I was hoping I might recognize the man. My practice occasionally has involved characters of the underworld.
Maybe that's your answer, your practice. Do you recall anyone who would have it in for you?
Of course, every time I win a case, there's somebody who wishes I'd drop dead.
But no one specific.
Uh-uh.
I see. Well, first of all, you're to tell no one of this death threat. Is that clear?
What about Susan, my fiancée?
Not even her.
Bob, you've got the date of... Oh, sorry. Hello, Jerry.
How are you, Estelle? Oh, this is a friend of mine, Bill Wagon. Miss Wilson, Bob's junior partner. How do you do?
Mr. Wagon, you got the wrong date on the Louis Nicolai deposition. It was taken the 27th, not the 28th.
Are you certain?
Checked the files myself.
Who's Louis Nicolai?
Oh, he's a truck driver who witnessed a hit-and-run accident. No connection.
Bob, darling, you did... Oh, hello, Jerry.
Hello, Susan.
Hi, Estelle. Honey, I've got the most exciting news.
When is any of your news not exciting?
But this is, really. Uncle Peter's going to Europe.
Which he does at least twice every year.
But this was an unexpected trip. He was going to Malibu Beach, and his beach house is all ready, and he says that we can use it for a whole month for our honeymoon.
Go to California?
Well, they haven't moved Malibu Beach to New York yet. Oh, we'll have the most romantic, secluded honeymoon. Except we'll have to be married by day after tomorrow at the latest, so that Uncle Peter
Well,
can
day
be
after
there.
tomorrow, Susan, you see, I have a very important case coming up.
You and your old ipso factos, this is our wedding.
Sue, this isn't just an ordinary case. It's terribly important.
Bob has a very complicated brief to prepare. Well, then you take care of it, Estelle. Bob's always telling me how you're the brains in this outfit, and he couldn't manage without you.
He'd manage.
Well, then it's all settled. We'll be married day after tomorrow, and that, my darling, is final. I gotta rush. I got a million things to do. Bye.
Well, that's a great situation, isn't it? Can't even tell my bride-to-be she's going to make herself a widow before her time.
Well, Jerry and I'll take a look at some mugshots of professional stool pigeons. Maybe you'll recognize your friend. In the meantime...
I know. Keep a stiff upper lip.
Mm-hmm.
Estelle?
You haven't forgotten you're meeting Frank Passmore for lunch, have you?
Why should I forget?
You seem to have so many other things on your mind.
Do we need the sarcasm?
No. What we do need is your concentration on the most important thing that's come our way. The Hanson-Jonas case. But after all, what's a $40 million lawsuit compared with a honeymoon in Malibu?
What's really got you down? The lawsuit or the honeymoon?
The lawsuit. I've got a luncheon date.
Wait a minute. You know, we always agreed that nothing could affect our work together and that anything else between us was just for laughs.
All right, so the laughs are over. You're getting married. Never mind the office or what we've got at stake, just so you can have your honeymoon.
I'll see you after lunch.
Hello, this is Estelle Wilson. There's been a change in plans. That job's got to be done in the next 2 days.
And of course, the bride will come down the stairs.
Oh, Claudia, this is just a small wedding. I think that's too pretentious.
Well, I was thinking maybe I'd like to come from... Pam, darling, there's no entrance a bride can possibly make that's any more effective than coming down the stairs.
Unless she came in on roller skates. Say, where's Bob, anyway?
Oh, he's working late tonight, Jerry, but he ought to be here soon.
Claudia, I still think it's much too formal an entrance for Susan to make down the stairs.
And what's wrong with being formal? After all, a girl only gets married for the first time once. Now, Mr. Foster, as the bride's father, you bring her on your arm like this. No. On the other side.
Don't argue, darling. When it comes to weddings, bow to the master.
Now, step at a time. That's it. Well, come on, everybody. Let's try coming down the stairs. Jerry, will you tend to the music, please?
Okay.
That's it. Keep walking tall. This is a happy day. That's right. Slower. Keep it slow now. That's it. Bob, darling, I thought you didn't know. You were right. We started rehearsing. Well, now we can start all over again. The bridegroom's here. Girls, everybody upstairs. Oh, get your position. We're going to start all over again.
Go on, Bob. Better take your place in the living room.
Wait a minute, Jerry.
What's the matter?
That's it.
Someone took a shot at me outside. Hit my car.
What?
Don't mention it now. We'll take a look at it later on.
I think we'll need at least 6 cases of champagne and some soft drinks as well. Now about the wedding cake. We'd like it exactly like the one you catered at the wedding of... Jerry North. Oh, no, not Jerry North's wedding. I'll call you back later. But Jerry and Bill, why are you here?
Because it was impossible to break through that line.
Oh, I might have known it was you.
Well, don't act as though it were a matter of life and death.
Or perhaps it is.
What?
Where's Susan?
In the living room. Hi, Jerry.
No matter how hard we tried to keep the list down, we just couldn't do it. Look at this.
Bill, this list might be helpful. Susan, I want you to meet a friend of mine, Lieutenant Wagon.
Oh, how do you do? I
Hello.
saw you in Bob's office. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
This is my sister, Marion.
How do you do?
Susan, what the lieutenant has to tell you will be a shock, but I think it's best that you know.
Miss Foster, your fiancé received this note in the mail.
You'll never live to say I do. Who would possibly send Bob a death threat?
That's what we want to find out. Now, Susan, is there anyone, a former boyfriend, anyone you know who might want...
No.
You're positive? After all, a pretty girl like you.
No, there's never been anybody but Bob. Lieutenant, this must be a joke.
Pretty grim joke, if you ask me.
Lieutenant, don't you think it would be wise to postpone the wedding? Marion's right, of course. I couldn't have Bob standing there like a duck in a shooting gallery. Anything ever happened to him?
That's up to you and Tyler. I'll give you all the protection I can, and I believe we can handle the party who sent that note. I will say, if you postpone now, we may never know who it is, until they pick another time to strike.
All right, Lieutenant, I'll do anything you say. Anything Bob wants to do.
Good. Tyler says call the bluff. Oh, may I? You're sure there's no boyfriend?
I'm quite sure, Lieutenant.
Come on, Jerry, let's get back to Bob's office.
Want me to go with you?
No. Jerry tells me you've been with Bob Tyler for quite some time.
Yes, we graduated law school together. First, I doubled in brass as secretary, junior member. Even a little light cooking in the office. Oh, but it was worth it. Bob's come a long way.
Now, the way I heard it, much of the credit goes to you.
Oh, no. Nothing could have stopped him. He's brilliant. He has that deep perception that comes along only once in generations of lawyers. People trust him. He's understanding. He'll make a great district attorney someday.
We'll wait in Bob's office.
Yes. Yes, this is she.
Well, one thing's sure. She'd know who to go to if she wanted to hire a killer.
Yeah, and she's in love with Bob Tyler. Oh, she only has to mention his name and she gets a gleam in her eye like a frozen daiquiri.
See here, Wagon. I wanted to tell Susan about this trouble myself. When I phoned during court recess, she was frantic.
I'm sorry, but I had to question her. I got a report on the typewriter the note was written on. It's a very old model and in bad condition.
In a city of millions of old typewriters, that doesn't give you very much.
Well, I didn't expect it to be easy. Now, regarding the shot that hit your car last night, it was probably an intentional miss. At least that's the way I read it. A warning, just like the note, not to go through with the wedding.
Oh, this is fantastic. Who'd rather kill me than see me married? You're out of your minds.
Be sure not to disturb anything.
Well, if Estelle Wilson did type that note, she'd be too smart to keep the typewriter here at her own apartment.
Well, we'll have a look around just the same.
I must say, Miss Wilson's the neatest bachelor girl I've ever seen.
Did you find anything?
Nothing. Well, at least we've established one thing. If she does have a typewriter, she doesn't keep it here.
We're surprised. That's what I told you.
Come on, Pam. We don't know how long she's going to stay at the office.
Oh, Pam, even a toy typewriter wouldn't fit in there.
Hey, wait a minute. Look at this. The drawer's practically full of stuff about Bob.
Oh, a high school graduation picture.
Robert Tyler wins his first case in court.
She's kept a record of his whole life. How crazy about a man can you be?
She must have some kind of an obsession about
And a
the guy.
person with an obsession's liable to do anything. Bill, don't you think Bob should delay the wedding?
Don't worry. I'll have men covering every angle at that wedding.
I can just see the groom in white tie and bulletproof vest.
Susan.
Let go of
Lewis. What do you mean by sneaking around here in the dark?
Sue, I had to see you.
Well, now, Fred, we went over that all last week on the phone.
Please, I just want to talk to you a few minutes.
All right, come on in the house.
Thank you, Susan.
Oh, Freddie, don't grovel so. You'll have to be quiet, Freddie. If Father knew that you were here...
Susan, I spent enough time here last summer without your father objecting.
Oh, I wasn't engaged then.
You were to me.
Oh, now, look, Freddie, why don't you be a nice boy and run along home? It's getting awfully late.
Don't use that tone on me.
Oh, Fred, let me go. Are you crazy?
You said you'd wait, and you would have if you hadn't met him. The great Mr. Tyler. I wonder how much you've told him about us.
He isn't interested in children's stories. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going upstairs to go to sleep.
Now, listen, Susan.
Fred, you'll wake Father. Besides, it won't do any good.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about. I know what it means to be lonely and unwanted. Susan doesn't mean to hurt people, really. It's just that she's always had things her own way.
Regardless of who gets hurt.
Fred, you're much too young for her.
That isn't true.
Bob is older, important.
I'll be important.
But it's too late now. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Is there, Fred?
Now, look, Miss Foster, I know you had a fella here late last night. I've had a man watching the house.
What?
Well, it's for your own protection.
And if you won't tell the lieutenant who it is, I'll tell him myself. His name is Fred Lewis.
But, Lieutenant, he's just a boy. Well, he wouldn't hurt a fly. We did go around together last summer, but... Well, honestly, if you knew him...
That's true, Lieutenant. Why, I never even heard him raise his voice.
Well, all right. But if he comes back again, let me know.
I'll see you out, Lieutenant.
Don't bother. And thanks. Goodbye.
Bye. Marion, thanks for covering up. About Freddie, I mean, why, if the lieutenant had heard him...
Susan, call off the wedding.
Marion.
I mean it. If you don't, something terrible will happen, I know it.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes?
I'm Lieutenant Wigan, homicide. May I come in?
Certainly.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
You have a son named Fred?
Why, yes. My Freddie isn't in trouble.
Oh, of course not. I didn't mean to alarm you.
Oh, that's all right. Won't you sit down, Lieutenant?
Mrs. Lewis, I believe your son knows Susan Foster.
My Freddie saw something of her last summer when I was abroad. I can't say that I'm sorry that nothing came of it. In my opinion, Susan Foster is typical of the spoiled young girls of today. Flighty, irresponsible...
All right, Mother. That's enough.
Really, Fred?
I'm sorry, Mother, but there's no reason for you to be cutting up Susan.
Oh, this is Lieutenant Wygant.
Lieutenant Wygant? What's this about?
I'm merely making a routine check of all contact with the Foster household. Did you call on Susan Foster last night? Well, did you?
Of course he didn't. He hasn't been near her since she announced her engagement. Have you, Freddie?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was there last night.
I see.
You said you were playing bridge. Really, Fred, I don't know what to think of this.
How long have you known her?
Well, I don't know, 6, 8 months. Lieutenant, I think I have a right to know why I'm being questioned.
I'm just checking on all contacts of Susan Foster. Would you say your friendship with her was merely casual?
Yes?
Do you have a typewriter?
Well, just that old one you used at school.
May I see it?
I junked it.
I see. Why'd you call on Miss Foster?
I was driving by and I saw the lights lit. Just dropped in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's all for now. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye, Lieutenant. Running after an engaged girl, really, Fred,
I'm warning you, Mother, I can't take any more of this. You broke us up, what more do you want?
Someday you'll thank me for this.
No, I won't.
Susan's a wonderful girl, and you know it.
Oh, perhaps for an older man like Robert Tyler, but not for a boy like you, Freddie.
Don't say that. If it hadn't been for you and your interfering, this never would have
That
happened.
will do. I'll overlook this, Freddie. Someday, when you come to your senses, you'll be sorry for your actions.
Perhaps you'll be sorry, Mother.
Well, Susan, you look just beautiful.
Well, everyone's here.
Oh, all right. Where's my bouquet?
Here.
Be sure and toss them to me.
I'll try. Well, bridesmaids, now you know exactly where to stand.
Yes, Aunt Claudia, they know.
Susan, you've something old.
Yes, my mother's pearls. And the blue garter for something blue. Yes, come on.
Something borrowed?
Oh, no. Well, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yes, anything. A handkerchief will do.
Oh, Pam, will you get one from Marion's room, please?
Oh, now, Susan, dear, you just wait here for your father to come and get you. And don't be nervous.
Give me one of your handkerchiefs for Susan. We forgot something borrowed.
They're in the top drawer.
Well, come on, Marion. You're supposed to walk ahead of me.
All right, I'm coming. You start.
Well, what are you waiting for? There's the wedding.
Close the door, Pam, and come back.
You, Marion? You're the one?
Yes, me. Little Sister Marion.
But why do you want to kill Bob?
To get even. Always Susan was the pretty one, the clever one, had everything she wanted. Now I've found something I can take away from her.
But you'll never get away with it. They'll come looking for us in a minute.
We'll be there. One gesture, one look, and I'll kill you too.
I can't believe this. Marion, that you'd kill them.
I gave them a chance. I hired that man to scare them. But they wouldn't listen. They're waiting for us, Pam.
To me. This isn't the way. Now she'll be married. She'll be out of your way. She can never compete with you again. You can have anything you want. Shut up. Any man you want.
Why are Marion and Pam walking together? I told them to follow each other. Look at them.
Marion, you'll go to jail. You'll get old and ugly in prison. Stop it. She'll like that. And she'll have everything. Your inheritance and trips to Europe, and you'll be old and ugly in jail in a cell like an animal.
No! Jerry! No!
Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. I'm always like this at weddings.
Oh. Take her upstairs.
Take her upstairs. Jerry, what do you suppose they'll do about Marion?
No, I think she'll be all right in time with a little care and understanding.
Did you see the gift that Estelle gave Bob and Susan, that album she had made up of the news clippings about Bob's career?
Quite a production. I don't know how she ever got it in those fancy leather bindings in time.
She told me she really had to ride herd on the little man that made it up for her. Especially when they moved up the wedding date.
What now?
Did you hear what Claudia said when Bob and Susan were finally married? What a lovely wedding.
Well, some people collect string. With her, it's weddings.
Me, I go for honeymoons.
That's what I call a collector's item.
Mr. and Mrs. North is directed by Paul Landers. Produced by John W. Loveton. A John W. Loveton production. Starring Barbara Britton and Richard Denning. Featuring Francis DeSales.